Hello, it's Sonia here with The Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today is Tuesday, so that means it's Tunisian Tuesday. So we are going to be featuring a Tunisian crochet stitch, and it's like a variation of the Tunisian smock stitch. And we are going to get started. So what you're going to need to do is, I've already worked a chain, is you'll need to chain a multiple of 2. So I just have 16 chains here. So we're going to get started on our first row, and I'm just using a regular hook, straight crochet hook for this swatch here, and I'm using an H hook or 5mm hook, and the yarn I am using is actually called Paintbox Simply DK, so it's a DK weight yarn, but a variety of yarns would definitely work for this project, or not project, stitch pattern. Alright, so we're going to work in the back bump of the chain. It's how I prefer to start my Tunisian rows here, and we're going to work in the second bump from our hook and just pull up a loop, and we're going to continue to pull up loops in the back bump. And if you've never done Tunisian crochet before, I have a whole playlist that goes over the basics, so I can certainly link that for you in the description box, and you can check that out if you want to. So I'm going to keep going, pulling up my loops here. So at the end of my first half of row 1, because Tunisians always worked in 2 parts, I will have 16 loops on my hook. So whatever amount you chained is the amount of loops you will have on your hook. Okay, so here is the first half of row 1. I've got 16 loops on my hook, so we're going to work these guys off. And this row 1 is our setup row. So we're going to yarn over, pull through 1 loop, and yarn over and pull through 2 for the rest of the row. And then row 1 will be complete. Okay, so now we're ready for row 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to work Tunisian purl across 2 stitches. So I'm going to have my yarn in front. I'm going to insert my hook into those first 2 bars there, and I'm going to complete the stitch. So it's a Tunisian decrease, Tunisian purl decrease. So we've worked that decrease. So now what we're going to do is we're going to yarn over purlwise, because we're going to do that again, a decrease across, but we need to put loops back on our hook because we're taking some away. So to do the purlwise, or the yarn over purlwise, is like I like to call it, is you have your yarn in front and you just wrap it around and bring it back in front. So a regular yarn over looks like that, but because we are working purl stitches, yarn in front and then putting it back in front. So we're just going to work that Tunisian purl decrease again, across those 2 stitches, and then completing the stitch. And we're going to do that across. So yarn over purlwise into the next 2 bars, working that Tunisian purl stitch. So we're decreasing by 1 and then putting the stitch back on. So we're almost done with this row. Okay, so I have 14 loops on my hook. We want to have a total of 16, so we need to do another yarn over. But our last stitch, we're going to work Tunisian knit stitch. So we're just going to yarn over a regular yarn over, putting that stitch back on, and then where it looks like a chain, we're just working that Tunisian knit stitch to complete the first part of row 1. So there we go, we have 16 loops on our hook. Now we work these off like we normally do. We're going to yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over and pull through 2 for the rest of the row. Okay, so there is row 2 complete. So let's begin row 3. So row 3, we're going to work Tunisian purl in that first stitch. And now we're going to yarn over purlwise, and we're going to work that Tunisian decrease, but it's kind of hard to see the next loop. It kind of shrinks down a little bit, that next bar, so it's right here. So I'm inserting my hook in that one, and then the next one is right here. So you just have to be a little bit careful because they can hide, and then we're going to work that Tunisian purl stitch. There we go, and we're going to repeat that. So yarn over purlwise and work that Tunisian purl. So if you're newer to Tunisian crochet, this might be a little bit more of a challenging stitch for you until you get a little bit more familiar with Tunisian crochet, but if you're feeling adventurous, then by all means give it a try. It's not really hard, it's just being a little bit mindful of where your stitches are. And so you can really see here how it's dropped down, but that's where we want to work, so pick that guy up. Okay, so let's count our loops on our hook and see how many we have. So we have 1, 2, 3. So we have 14 loops. So our last 2 stitches, because we want to have 16. So here is our stitch there. We're going to work, sorry, I'm working the wrong stitch. We're working Tunisian purl in this guy here. And we're going to work that knit stitch in the last. And so now we have 16 loops on our hook, and we're just going to yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2 for the rest of the row to complete row 3 here. Okay, so what we want to do is you're going to be repeating row 3 for however long you want your swatch. So we'll do a repeat. We're going to have the first stitch is Tunisian purl. So there's the stitch right there. It's kind of hiding. And now we're going to yarn over purlwise and work Tunisian purl. Here it is. Here it is. Tunisian purl decrease there for 2 bars, so we're going to do that again. Yarn over purlwise and work Tunisian purl decrease. What we're doing there. I think this would be easier with a larger hook. I didn't really think it through when I picked out my hook, but you know, that's okay. We're going to make it work. There we go. Okay, so now I need to work Tunisian purl and then that Tunisian knit stitch. So your first 2 rows are your setup rows, and then you're just going to repeat row 3 for however long you want your swatch. And of course, we need to yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2 to complete this row, row 4. Okay, so I'm going to work a few more rows and I will meet you back. Okay, so here we go. I ended up working 8 rows, so I think it's a cool stitch. Has a lot of nice texture to it. So if you're working these guys off, I would just work them all off in Tunisian purl stitch to bind off. But I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.